Weekend Huddle here on this Saturday morning, the 1st of March. How about that? Spring is in the air, and you know what they say, spring forward, fall back. And we're about to spring forward because tomorrow is daylight savings time. Connor Newton, Nick Frazier, Christian Skelton here with you, broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game National Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. And it is, I say this every week just because, I don't know, I guess weather breaks the ice or something. It's beautiful today. We're finally in spring weather, shorts and a t-shirt weather, America's weather, on God's time, the Central Time Zone. Nick Frazier, how are we doing today?
Fantastic, Connor Newt. Got up early this morning to watch a little rugby along with Shohei Ohtani. I was talking to you guys before the show, and
this is just your prime time of sports.
Yeah,
early morning. Australian rugby, World Baseball Classic, darts.
Yeah,
you're all about it.
I'm in hog heaven, man. I love getting up early. I like making some coffee, and I'm doing a new coffee regimen. I don't know if you guys have told you this or not, but cinnamon, put it in with the coffee grounds.
Yeah, you told me this yesterday.
Yeah, it reduces inflammation in your body, and I definitely feel more energetic. I feel like something else is happening, so I'm excited, very excited.
I'll have my coffee commentary here in just a second. Christian, how are we doing?
Doing good. Can't complain. Yeah, along with all those other sports for Frazier, got MLS right in the swing of things.
Yeah, I know.
Miami's in town next week, aren't they?
That's correct.
Wow, how about that?
On the 11th.
He's just thriving right now.
This is a great time of the year.
He came in here today just radiating some kind of positive energy, and I was thinking today's going to be a good day for Nick Frazier. And now we know why. It's because all these sports are going on. I would like to take this opportunity to cut my shoot promo on a fellow host that we have here named Adam Vingan. Yesterday, he called me a, quote, basic white girl just because of my musical tastes, which I have a very diverse musical tastes. Other than TD, I feel that I have probably the best musical taste of all people here. So, yes, but he also started to tell me, yeah, you probably like whipped cream and sugar in your coffee. First of all, I don't drink coffee. Second of all, who the hell puts whipped cream and sugar in their coffee? Unless it's like a Frappuccino or something. But even then,
whipped cream's only for hot chocolate.
Yeah.
I don't know where you got the whipped cream from. I didn't hear this live, but that is incorrect, Adam Vingan.
Even D-Mace backed me up. He said, I am not a white girl. So I don't know where the basic white girl allegations came from. I'm clearly a man. And just because I have a little bit of a feminine side, I think we all do.
Right.
I love Sabrina Carpenter. That's the only thing that you have against me.
Look, that's being a male.
Yeah.
You're attracted to a female. That's okay.
Yeah. Well, not quite what I was going for there, but
well, I mean, it's just common knowledge. I mean,
it is.
A male is attracted to a female.
I think being in touch with your feminine side makes you more masculine.
Okay. I like where this is going.
Not in a weird way, but, in a
normal way.
Yeah. Normal. Yes.
Yes. You mentioned D-Base yesterday talking about, just, I know what D-Base, it was just Adam saying the white girl side of things. Does he realize yesterday was Friday?
Yeah.
Like
it was white girl. Well, here's the thing. Their entire show, I was living on a cloud because, we had DMC in yesterday. It was all Run DMC and Beastie Boys, the whole show. I was like, this is what I want to do today. So I don't know where this came. I even played Limp Bizkit for Adam.
The audacity.
I was like, dude, where are you getting this from? Parker Kelly is more feminine than I am. So if anyone's a basic white girl, it's him. Not to throw him under the bus, but yeah, he's not listening anyway. So
I think Adam was having a bad day yesterday. He had the coffee spill on him.
He did. He had the coffee spill, and they were supposed to have trots on, and that fell through. Yeah. Not their fault, but
right. Busy man.
But it's okay. Adam, I forgive you. I just wanted to call you out live on air today. So maybe this will start, the next Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels rivalry. But we have real life heat here on the station. So
sweet chin music.
Sweet chin
incoming.
Music. Did you watch last night's game?
I did. USA? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. It was up and down for me. They ended up winning 15-5. The long ball just wasn't going for them. It felt like Aaron Judge stepped up to the plate, third batter in the lineup, and just nuked one deep to left. 2-run home run. I was like, this is going to be the story of the night because that man, if you hang one inside, he's going to punish you for it. And then they just couldn't get it going. It was a lot of small ball. Bryce Terang had a good showing last night, former Sound. I don't want to say local product, but he kind of is. So
he is.
We'll claim him. Bryce Terang looked good. Aaron Judge looked good. Bobby Witt, that man, I don't think I've ever seen someone that fast on the bases. I mean, he's ridiculous. But I'm a little bit concerned about Team USA. Similar to how I was about Team USA in hockey. They just weren't dominating the way that I expected them to dominate. I say this as they won by 10 runs yesterday, but a lot of it was just because Brazil seemed to run out of pitching. And guys, RBI blooper would drive it. I think Bryce Durang had a bases clearing double. So it was a lot of small ball being played last night. And when you get against teams like Japan and the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, I don't think small ball is going to be the way to win. So I'm a little bit concerned.
Yeah, looking at the lineup, I was fine with it. The biggest concern I had was Pete Crow Armstrong and Roman Anthony. Roman Anthony showed up to the occasion with 2 for 4. And then, Pete Crow Armstrong 0 for 2. It's a little concerning because I get why you bring him on the roster. It's to get that speed in the outfield. Understandable. Yep. It was that air quotes replacement for Corbin Carroll because he had that injury. And not having Corbin Carroll on this team, to me, I think is a huge, huge just gap. Because in the outfield, you got Byron Buxton, Roman Anthony, Pico Armstrong, and Aaron Judge.
And those are all guys that are just heavily reliant on the bat. And
bingo.
The PCA experience is he's either going to nuke one out to center field 450 or he's going to strike out. So I understand getting the speed in the outfield. Like you said, you need someone to go ahead and track down those balls. And even on the base running, you need speed. You need, stealing. Bobby Witt, I thought, was about to steal every single time he hit the base paths. I mean, that's a guy that had 36 stolen bags last year. So speed is definitely the thing for this team. They just got to get the bats going. They need the power hitting going. And that just wasn't in effect last night.
Yeah. I mean, you have, your DH and Kyle Schwarber, who was, again, had 2 hits last night.
He was serviceable.
Yeah, that's serviceable. You want to have that type of stuff for guys like that if they're a DH. But Bryce Harper going 1 for 5. Can't have that.
Hilarious.
You got to have your top of the lineup at least getting two cracks at the bat.
Yep.
Because again, you can't be losing opportunities at the plate against a team like Brazil. I get it. Late in the game, pitching staff wasn't there for Brazil. That's where you saw the true talent kind of flourish for the USA. But when you go up against teams like Venezuela, Dominican Republic, Japan, like you mentioned, Connor, it's going to be a concern.
That's where I had a little bit of questioning of the lineup itself. Bobby Witt absolutely needs to be the leadoff guy. Speed, he can hit, absolutely perfect leadoff guy. Bryce Harper at number 2, a little bit interesting right there. Aaron Judge absolutely needs to be 3 because, you get 2 guys on base. Aaron Judge is liable to knock one out of the park. That's 3 runs for you right there. So I don't know. I feel like I would substitute Bryce Harper for someone else. Maybe I don't know who's on this roster.
I mean, if it were me, I would have switched Buxton with Harper.
Yeah, probably.
That's what I would have done.
Yeah. I mean, Buxton's got power hitting. He's got some sort of speed on the base path. So Buxton is the guy that is just likely to hit like a automatic double to me, or just bloop one down the middle where he can, get on first and then advance the runner. And then that puts Judge in perfect position for a 3-runner. I agree with you. I think Buxton would probably be more serviceable at 2 than Bryce Harper would be.
And if you look at Mark DeRosa, I think he gets too close in his ways to where like, oh yeah, let's do this. Oh yeah, let's do that.
Yep.
He seems to be like the mastermind of baseball when he's on MLB Network breaking down, hitting strides and all that. I get that. But when you're constructing the United States of America in a roster for baseball, let's not overthink it. We know that there are really good players on this team. How about you just evenly distribute it out? Because he was probably thinking, all right, let's shake things up with Brazil, have a right-handed hitter and a left-handed hitter, 1-2 punch. It doesn't work like that sometimes. Go with your balance of the lineup.
Yeah. You know what the weirdest part of that game was for me last night? They showed the shot of the booth, of course, in the middle. 2 qualified analysts. And then there was a guy in the middle. And I was like, I'm not used to seeing him with broadcast equipment. And he did a good job. Adam Wainwright. Wayno in the booth. But he did good. He was kind of like Tom Brady breaking down a quarterback. Like he would just kind of break down the pitches that were coming. There was one point where Brazil was in a bit of a bind. And, I think it was with Bryce Harper. And Wayno goes, I'd absolutely challenge him because you know who's on deck. And it was Aaron Judge. And he did, in fact, challenge him. So Wayno, I think, is a qualified person to be breaking down pitches in the booth. So I'm excited to see him in the booth this season.
Yeah, he did a few games with the, I guess, FanDuel Sports Network for the Cardinals last season, just like little cameo appearances.
Yeah.
And then he obviously has been hired on with Fox last season as a special analyst for the booth, and he's doing a really good job.
Fox's baseball coverage is a lot better than ESPN's. I'll die on that hill. And I know ESPN has decided not to cover much baseball this year because they're dumb, but I felt this last year. I felt the Fox coverage was better than listening to Carl Ravitch pretend like he knows what he's talking about.
So it's very true. And you know what ESPN's doing? They're just putting it to the Plus platform, the unlimited platform.
Which is dumb. Nationally televise these games. People will watch.
Yeah. And what they're doing is you saw with NFL primetime with Chris Berman, that's all to the Plus. They're doing the same thing with baseball. And I'm not saying they're phasing it out. They're just making it harder for people to watch.
You know what's next?
Oh, no.
In the NFL season? Red Zone. It's going to go to the Plus. I'm telling you right now. It's going to happen.
Like, if I have it on my cable provider, I'm not going to pay that extra $15 to watch it on the Plus.
It's dumb. And you know what else will happen with Red Zone? Commercials.
Oh, we're there.
I mean, we're already there.
It's sad.
But it's like 30-second spots once every 3 hours. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that you're not going to get me to riot over 30 seconds. And they still have the game going on like a little corner screen. So it's like, it's one of those picture-in-picture things. I'm like, whatever, it's fine.
It's just enough time for Scott to go take a piss in a cup and then,
Or you to go get a snack, Maybe
yes.
both. Why not both?
Here, Red Zone's the kind of thing that I don't really even need. Usually I'm here on Sundays. That will hopefully change here soon. But usually I'm here. So I don't really need the audio. I just kind of look up and I see, hey, the Saints are taking it to the Cardinals right now. That's all I need it for. I don't need the audio. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. Let's see. Gunner on our text line says, can you smell it in Nashville? There's a gator smoker in Lexington today. I don't know about that. I love the Cats. I don't know about beating Florida today. I don't think that's going to happen. But we'll see. This is the unpredictables.
How big of a losing margin will it be today?
It's a 1.5-point spread, I think. Florida favored in Rupp Arena. So, marginal.
Really?
I think 1.5. Maybe 7. Maybe I got my numbers.
I'm not questioning your thought at all. I'm just thinking there's no way that Florida is going to be that tight with them today, right?
Florida by 5.5.
Okay. It probably opened.
That's right. It was 7.5 yesterday, and then we did take it to the bank, and it came down to 6.5. Now it's 5.5.
If Florida ends up a 2 seed, I feel very bad for the 1 seed in their region.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I agree with that. 615-737-1025 is the phone number, phone and text lines. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We got a fun show for you today. The Beastie Boys are here. They're going to perform for us live and in studio. Not actually, but I am requiring at least one song of theirs being played today by our valiant producer back there. 9:45, we'll talk Newt's Notes, of course. We'll do Weekend Pull at 10 a.m., which remind me, I got to do that here in the break. I had a busy day yesterday, and I just forgot to do it. We'll talk a lot of Preds. We'll talk a lot of Titans today, and then, of course, we'll wrap things up with Where Are They Now? But coming up next, the NHL trade deadline has come and gone. Some split opinions on how the Predators handle it. Some love it. Some hate it. But I want to ask the question, do you still believe in this Preds team this year? I know Nick Frazier has opinions on that. I have opinions on that as well. We'll get to that coming up next right here on the Weekend Huddle. Connor Newt, Nick Frazier, Christian Skelton here with you on 102.5 The Game. Ask and you shall receive. I gave him a task. He delivers immediately. The greatest producer in all the land, Christian Skeleton. Welcome back in, Weekend Huddle. Yeah, you're welcome. Welcome back in here, Weekend Huddle on 102.5 The Game. Connor Newton, Nick Frazier, Christian Skeleton here with you. Let me quickly tell you that Vanderbilt men's basketball takes on Tennessee with a 1 p.m. tip-off. In the pregame show starts at 12:30 p.m. on 102.5 The Game. Coverage presented by Gary Force Acura. A big one going on in Knoxville today. Both teams probably locked into that March Madness tournament, but rivalry on the line, SEC seeding on the line, and Nate Amon probably not going to play for the Volunteers. So big one for the Vanderbilt Commodores today. But we're going to talk Preds here. The NHL trade deadline has come and gone. No moves for the Predators yesterday. They made some throughout the week, of course. Michael McCarron being flipped to Minnesota. Let's see, Michael Bunting over to Dallas. Nick Blankenburg to Colorado. There's one more I'm missing here. Cole Smith to Vegas. So some key guys on the third and fourth line and on the defense being flipped. I don't think they're, just absolutely irreplaceable, but they are important pieces that were flipped. There's been a lot of controversy surrounding the Predators on whether or not they handled the deadline well and whether or not Barry Trotz as a whole was a good general manager for this team. But we'll get to that later. I want to focus on this team specifically right now. We saw them play with some pride and some fire against the Boston Bruins. They won 6-3 on Thursday. They're in action tonight in Buffalo against a very good Buffalo Sabres team. So I ask you, and I ask all of our listeners, Nick Frazier, do you still believe in this Preds team's ability to get a wild card spot and make that playoff?
100%. I mean, I have no question that this team can now, I wouldn't say go the distance to the Stanley Cup, but definitely make a playoff push. Because yesterday, Barry Trotz validated what I was kind of saying on Next Man Up. And it was, if you're going to move off of Ryan O'Reilly, you're going to either keep Eric Halla. But if you move off of Eric Halla, you're definitely going to keep Ryan O'Reilly. You're just not going to break too much of that up because guess what? There's no depth at that center position. That forces you to put Steven Stamkos back at the center position on the first or second line, whatever it may be. And we all saw, and you even alluded to this yesterday when we were talking, and the fact of the matter is when you had Stamkos playing at center, guess who was still taking those faceoffs? Ryan O'Reilly. So again, it just goes to show you that Barry Trotz understands he's not a quitter. And I think that goes to show you that I'm not saying the front office or whatever it may be said, hey, let's do this, let's do that. I think it was more Barry Trotz said, I got myself into this. I'm going to try to get myself out of this. And if this is my last hurrah in all of hockey, I'm going to go out with a bang.
I would respectfully disagree. I think my faith, if I were to put it on a meter on will the Predators make the playoffs, is about 35%. I think they have the capability of doing it if they play every game the rest of the way like they did against that Boston team, just because they played with such fire and such motivation. And I know why, because of the circumstances. They lost key teammates. They are pushing to play meaningful games here in Smashville, but I just don't think the depth is enough. I love the young guys. I love that we're getting to showcase them. LaRue, Evangelista, guys like Brian Ufko, who I thought played phenomenally the other day. But I just don't think it's enough. I think this is going to be the kind of situation where we just kind of ride it out and then the new GM takes over and we see where we are from there. We see where we are with Brunette, which I'm not going to say this is going to happen. This is just my opinion. I feel that it could be a possibility that this next GM comes in and cuts Brunette loose. I think it's a fair possibility to expect. As far as the key roster pieces on this, I don't think Forsberg's going anywhere. UC Saros, I don't even think Stamkos and O'Reilly are going anywhere for a while. But in terms of can this team make the playoffs, I have a hard time believing it just because of the depth. Look, no one wants this team to make the playoffs more than me and you do. I think we are the pro Predators playoff show here on the station. We've been the most positive, in my opinion. But at this point in the season, with so little hockey left and, so little opportunities to prove that you belong with so many teams in that cluster with you, it's going to be really, really hard for them to do it. So I'm not saying they're incapable of doing it. I'm just saying my mind and my logistics of thinking is saying I don't know if they're going to have enough pieces or depth to get all the way there.
Yeah, my only positive outlook right now when it comes to just the Preds making a playoff push is they're not too far out of a wild card spot.
That is true.
And
they're only
that's
3 points.
exactly. And then if you look also at some of these other teams in that wild card race, one team in particular, and that's San Jose. San Jose's got a tough schedule coming up. Like, I don't know if you were recognizing of like the top talent in that area, which I know you do because we all keep up with hockey. But
Yeah.
the fact of the matter is you have New York, Buffalo. Here we go. Boston, Montreal, both playoff teams.
Yep.
Ottawa, not really a tough team per se.
Capable.
Edmonton on the bubble, fighting for a spot as well.
Mm-hmm.
Play Buffalo again, Philadelphia. Then you have Nashville, St. Louis, not great. I get all that. But again, you're playing teams. I think if we were to compartmentalize this Preds upcoming, schedule, they got to win at least 4 of their 7 on the away trip.
Yeah.
San Jose, on the other hand, they got 3 tough games where they have to win. If they don't, I think that's where the pendulum swings for the Preds to kind of leapfrog them there.
Like I said, I think there's a capability there. It's just probability-wise, I don't know if it's going to happen. But to your point, if you play the way you played the other day against Boston and you come away from this road trip, you got 2 weeks. Come away with this road trip with as many points as possible. I believe it's possible that teams in front of you could start to shake out, and we'll start to see this playing field leveled a little bit. So I don't think it's impossible. Like I said, I think it's improbable. But you have key pieces that are delivering on all cylinders. Steven Stamkos is playing elite level Steven Stamkos hockey right now. Ryan O'Reilly is never not going to find something wrong with this team or wrong with his play. And I love that accountability about him. UC Saros, I think, played a great game against Boston the other day. Here's what I think about UC Saros, though. He's an experience. One night, he'll look like an all Vezina trophy winner goalie, capable of knocking down any shot. The next night, he'll look like he was just called up from Milwaukee and the lights are too bright for him. That's the UC Saros experience. And some of the hate he gets is kind of like what Chase said yesterday with us. He's not Pekka Rinne. He's the guy after the guy. And being the guy after the guy is the worst position anyone in any sport can be in because there's expectations. Because the expectations for you are raised, maybe unfairly, but they are raised. So I think key pieces on this roster need to keep delivering to the capabilities in the way that they have been over the past game or so for this to continue. Like I said, possible, but improbable.
Yeah, the one factor, and you make a good point about the UC Saros there with Pekka Rinne, is Yaroslav Askarov. I'm not going to let this thing die. He screwed up the trajectory of this franchise.
Yes,
100%. His ignorance of not wanting to play in Milwaukee, the ignorance of saying, hey, I want to be a starting goaltender in the NHL. I know I can play right now. I mean, sure, he's playing decent with the Sharks right now, but
decent.
Exactly. You could have been a lot better if you just took, 1 or 2 seasons in Milwaukee and said, hey, maybe I can actually learn here. And again, I'm not saying the Preds were pressured into Justus Annunen as the backup goaltender there, but I mean, I think for the time being when they had to make some moves last season, I think Annunen was a good plug there. But as for the whole Askarov thing, he definitely put a wrench into things. And it's unfortunate that it didn't work out because if he did work out with the Preds, I think we'd be talking about a different Preds team right now in a different playoff position.
For context, Yaroslav Askarov this season in 38 games played, he's 19, 16, and 2. How about this? 3.57 goals allowed and an 886 save percentage.
Again, that's sub 90.
Below average. I mean, it's not horrible. It's not good.
But think of it this way. San Jose and Nashville both are the same points in the standings for the wild card race. Say if Askarov were to have stayed with Nashville and stayed in Milwaukee and said, hey, you know what? Let's bring this kid up. Maybe this is time to do it. I can guarantee you with the amount of coaching this team has, the Preds team, along with, development all the way to the top, this guy would have been a pretty darn good goaltender.
Here's the thing about San Jose that I think separates them from the Predators. They have the guy, Macklin Celebrini. He is young. What is he, 19?
He's young.
He's young. He's elite. he's going to be a very, very good player in this league for a very, very long time. The Predators have good players. They don't have that guy. So I feel that in selling off and getting as much draft capital as you possibly can, you're setting the next general manager up for success to go get that guy. I'm not saying the Predators need to be really bad for a really long time like the Sharks did, but I am saying that you have the draft capital, and quite honestly, you don't have the cup contending roster. The possibility of finding that guy in the draft is a lot higher than you think. 615-737-1025 is the phone number if you want to get involved in the conversation on the Predators. Coming up next, I want to talk about Barry Trotz as a whole. His tenure as general manager isn't over yet. He's still got some things to do, but this was most likely his last trade deadline. I want to talk about his overall performance as the general manager of the Predators. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you feel that this franchise has been set back because of it? We'll talk about that coming up next here on the program. Let me tell you, Vanderbilt baseball takes on North Dakota State today at 2 p.m. Catch all the action on 94.9 The Fan and the Game National app. Coverage presented by GaryForceAcura.com. We'll come back, talk about Barry Trotz on the other side. Connor Newton, Nick Frazier, Christian Skelton here with you on Weekend Huddle on 102.5 The Game. Oh, yeah. The Top Gun soundtrack, maybe the greatest soundtrack in cinematic history. Every song is a hit. Well done. You're on a roll today. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome
I appreciate
back.
it.
You're very welcome. Welcome back in. Weekend Huddle here on 102.5 The Game. Connor Newton, Nick Frazier, Christian Skelton here with you. Talking a little bit of Preds hockey, the NHL trade deadline I just said NHL. The NHL trade deadline has come and gone. So we're talking about the performance of the Predators, and we kind of broke down this team in the last segment, but I want to open this up to the text line, 615. Words aren't wording today. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. How do you feel about Barry Trotz's tenure as a Nashville Predator? Nick Frazier, your thoughts on how Barry Trotz not only handled this deadline, but handled his tenure as GM of the Predators as a whole?
I think it was different, unorthodox in a roundabout way, where Preds fans at the beginning were happy. Like everybody always tends to forget if things don't go their way, they immediately say, "Well, you did this, you did that. That's why it's not great." Yada yada yada. Barry Trotz took a risk, and that's something that a lot of Preds fans, in a roundabout way, I respect it 100%. Because as a general manager in the NFL, you normally only get one shot, maybe two. Because we look at John Robinson, for example. You look at the NHL. I don't know what the GM conversion is if you were to get canned, or if you were to retire and do something else. But the fact of the matter is, here in Nashville, it's always been inside the Poyle family. Like David Poyle's been here since the very beginning. He set this up for a success for the next guy. I even mentioned it with Jake yesterday of like with Barry Trotz. Yes, it was set up for success because of David Poyle's last barrage of trades that he made with the one that went to Tampa Bay, and you get a bunch of like 7 or 8 draft picks in return. That's set up for Barry Trotz. Barry Trotz had to capitalize on that. And I think with the scouting department and what they drafted, I would say yes. I would say they capitalized on those drafts. As for the offseason moves, looking at the Marchessault, the Stamkos, the Shea, I think it was a hit on paper immediately. And we all thought that.
Yeah.
And if you get more
what was it, July 1st of 24?
Yeah.
We were all on board.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm in camp of saying that, Barry Trotz did a really good job as a general manager. Yes, it didn't come out with the success that everybody wanted. But again, he took a risk, and he is still fighting for the end of that risk. And I'm going to stand by him with that. And I know a lot of people will probably disagree, but I am giving the flowers to Barry Trotz on this one. He's done a really good job of risking it and hopefully trying to see it to come out for success.
I feel he did a massively, I don't want to say remarkable job. He made history here. He brought in the 3 biggest free agent signings in probably the history of this franchise. How many of them have worked out? You could make the argument that 2 of the 3 have worked out. Brady Shea has played better. I don't want to hear that he hasn't, because he has. Steven Stamkos is playing Steven Stamkos hockey. Jonathan Marchessault is his own separate argument. He just hasn't worked here. There have been times Barry Trotz has gone up there to speak, and yesterday was one of them, where I just thought, to quote Darryl Hall and John Oates, he's out of touch. There were, especially yesterday, he was asked about the handling of the Ryan O'Reilly situation, and he made a comment that, of course, O'Reilly doesn't have a no-move clause in his contract, but he's treating him as such. And he said it was like, quote, serving 2 masters. I thought that was a very out-of-touch comment, because you have guys on the roster that actually do have no movement clauses, like Marchessault, like Forsberg, Stamkos, what you name it. Ryan O'Reilly is not one of those people. So I understand you're trying to keep a good relationship with Ryan O'Reilly, the person and the player. And I know what he means to this locker room. But, I don't have a no trade clause here. Do you think they would move off of me? Probably not. That's a really bad example. How could you move off of me?
Probably not.
I'm incredible. But look, if the right price came in for Ryan O'Reilly and you didn't move off of him because you asked him and he said no, that's wrong reasoning to me. That is, you're trying to serve Ryan O'Reilly, the person, and not this franchise as a whole. So I felt that was very out of touch. Again, I'm not saying that they should have moved off of Ryan O'Reilly. I love Ryan O'Reilly. I have immense respect for that man. But if the right price came in, say a couple of firsts for Ryan O'Reilly, I think you take it, because that would be doing a service to this franchise and doing a service to the next guy that comes in after you. I don't want to say Barry Trotz was acting selfishly, because I don't think that's true. In my conversations with Trotz and hearing him and dealing with him, he's a very unselfish person and a very, very open person. So I credit him for telling us his thought process on that yesterday. But again, as a general manager, your job is to put the franchise ahead of the personal needs of this team. So why didn't you? That's just my question.
I kind of refer it back to how David Poyle set up Barry Trotz. And because from what it sounds like, it seems like the Predators are going to kind of go outside the family for this next hire for the general manager, and they should. And with that being said, if Barry Trotz if these are his guys he brought in, let him finish with the guys that he brought in. Because more than likely, that next general manager that's going to come in is going to probably find some suitors for a guy like Marchessault or Stamkos. I'm probably not O'Reilly because there's no value at that point. But and maybe not with Marchessault, you never know. But those guys with those no movement clauses, they're probably going to have a very come to Jesus moment and have a good sit down with the new general manager and say, hey, this is what I have for a trajectory of this franchise. Would you be in on it? If you don't, I will make some phone calls and hopefully you'll be okay with waive that no trade clause. And if that's the case, then they'll say yes. And then this thing will be back to, I wouldn't say square one, but you'd start seeing the youth movement a lot more than you think.
The other thing I think that's involved with Barry Trotz is there's always going to be the comparison of Barry Trotz as a coach to Barry Trotz as a general manager. And I don't think Barry Trotz, the general manager, lived up to the legacy that Barry Trotz, the coach, left here in Nashville. And that's okay. Look, I just feel that Barry Trotz wasn't suited to be a general manager. He was set up for success. And look, he made some good moves. He got this team, capable of being in a playoff situation this year. But also look at last year. When I say he was out of touch, this is what I mean. You go in and sign these 3 splashing free agents, and perfectly fine. We were all on board with it that day. We were all thinking this team could make a Stanley Cup. And then they go out there and put on the worst record, or the 3rd worst record in NHL. So it's just an out of touch thing for me. I think he had a fine tenure as general manager. I wouldn't say great. I wouldn't say horrible.
Right.
But I wouldn't say great.
I'm not in the camp of it was like the best thing ever, but I'm in the camp of it's respected to me. The fact that you took risk, a lot of people probably wouldn't have. Like you mentioned, bringing in those 3 marquee names in the offseason and signing Saros to the long-term deal, which is still up in the air. We'll see about that. But no, I think he took a risk that Preds fans on paper initially thought it was a great idea. And then when things kind of didn't pan out, that's when the tide started turning and people started saying, whoa, we didn't sign up for this.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? You kind of did because you're a Preds fan and you're going to stick with this team through thick and thin. That's why I'm a Nashvilleian. You're a Nashvilleian. Christian is too. We're all growing up in the market.
He's a Murfreesboroan.
That's okay. Still from
close enough.
Middle Tennessee market. I'm sticking with this team through thick and thin because that's what you do as a Nashvilleian. You don't go abandon your favorite team or go abandon your hometown team. That's not the way this community works.
Yeah. No, I understand that. And I don't think there are many fans out there doing that. I think there are fans that are just frustrated with the direction.
Sure. And if you're frustrated with the direction, that's okay. But
I'm frustrated with the direction.
Yeah. And that's okay. But if you're a guy, let's say looking at the whole Barry Trotz situation, like we all are, I would give the guys flowers because he took a risk that a lot of people wouldn't have. And it's outside the comfortability of that Preds bubble. And again, it didn't work out the way people wanted it to. I get that. But if you continue, like Barry Trotz said yesterday, and let me find the quote before I misspeak here. Barry Trotz speaking on the offers for Eric Halla, quote, really good offers. But afterwards, he determined that it still needed to have Halla as a veteran center and was greater, quote, help the group versus hurt the group. And I think that is something that you have to look at because he's trying to set this group up for success of the next GM. And then the decisions are made for the next GM to say, hey, do I want you? Do I want you out of here? Simple as that.
As Gunnar on the text line points out, there's a separate conversation for Andrew Brunette. Was it dropping the ball, retaining him as coach? I don't think so. I think Trotz came into this year thinking last year was a one-off for that coach. And to some extent, he was right. They're playing a lot better, but I just feel that some systems and coaches just don't work with certain players. And that's been kind of the Brunette story here as of late. Joel on the text line says the debate seems to be over now. how Trotz handled O'Reilly. Did he treat him like a no-move contract player when other teams were possibly offering a worthwhile haul that would have benefited the franchise long term? That's kind of the argument. I on some level understand it because O'Reilly means a lot to this franchise and has a very good relationship with Barry Trotz. But look, if a team's calling me for 2 first-round picks for one player, I would take it.
But again, if uh, yes, in a roundabout way, yes. If you don't see this team winning in the next couple of years, yes, take that. To me, with some of this core that's on this roster right now, excluding O'Reilly, I still think this team is a very competitive team. I would use whatever you have right now as draft capital for 26, 27, and a little bit of 28 as roster chips, like Chase has mentioned before, for next season. And
That's right.
That's for the next GM. So again, for Trotz not to move off of any of his key pieces he's brought in on this roster, I think is a good choice if he's trying to get himself out of the rut that he got himself into.
To me, it's just setting the next guy up for success. And I mean, I can't think of a better way to set the next guy up for success than hauling in a haul of 2 first-round picks, maybe in next year's draft. So I don't know. I don't like it, but I understand it.
And maybe there's stuff we don't know about the recruiting aspect of all this with the young talents that are developing. I mean, Preds have some pretty good young talent, not only in Milwaukee, but overseas, playing at the international spectrum of it all. So there is some good stuff there, and it's something that gets overlooked a lot.
It's just interesting because the year they made the playoffs a couple years ago, they were one of the youngest teams in the NHL. And they got older, and that's okay because you want veteran presence. But some of them were just some weird moves that just haven't worked out.
And to your point about Brunette, real quick, the other night we saw about Boston and how Nashville scored a lot of goals. Remember, there are a lot of younger players on that team. You wonder if the system fits better for younger players that can skate quicker. I'm not sure that's a small sample size. I'd have to look
That's a
more
good
into
point.
that. But, I mean, that's something you got to look into. That's why I'm confident this team can make a solid playoff push.
That's a good point because you're trying to break the mold off of some of these older players, right? You're trying to break the mold of Tampa Bay from Steven Stamkos. And I would argue largely it's worked. You're trying to break the mold from Brady Shea of Carolina. And, you know, flip a coin on that one. But you're trying to break the mold on some of these older players. And for the large part of the conversation, it hasn't worked out. 615-737-1025 is the phone number if you want to get involved in the conversation. Coming up next, I'll take over the show. Newt's Notes coming up next right here on the Weekend Huddle, 1025 The Game. Notes.
In my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me.
Welcome back in. Weekend Huddle here on 102.5 The Game. Right Time HVAC and Cromwell Media are teaming up to bring comfort back to your home. Is your heating system struggling or completely out of commission following the winter storms, or do you need a fix to get you ready for summer? Nominate yourself for the Right Time Home Rescue and tell us your story. Enter today at thegamenashville.com/HVAC, and you could win a new HVAC system installed by Right Time HVAC. Right Time HVAC, locally owned and operated. There's never a wrong time to call Right Time. And it is time for Nudes Notes, which means I got to talk about something. So college baseball has started, and it's been going on for a few weeks now, and I'm loving every minute of it. I've got the ESPN Plus. You can watch all the games. I'm watching my Wildcats all the time. I love it. It's so much fun. That being said, ESPN's coverage of college baseball is so terrible. You will have guys that are calling midweek games that aren't even talking about the game. I was watching Kentucky play EKU a couple of days ago. They had two students on there, and they were talking about, so, Johnny, how'd you do in history today? And I'm like, I don't care. Call the game. And then they leave their, producer mics on so you can just hear everything going on in the background. Why are they not producing this like a professional level game? Beyond the actual broadcast, on the ESPN app, you can find scores for everything. You can't follow the team. And the scores and the updates on ESPN's college baseball are so bad and out of touch. I don't understand in such a growing sport, and I realize we're in the South and it's probably more popular down here than it is up north. But in the South, in a growing sport that pulls in viewers, especially in SEC country, how is your coverage for a sport so bad? Look, the NBA gets too much coverage for my liking from ESPN. They think it's a driving force in the sports world, and it's not. It's not a dead product, but it's a dying product. The NFL gets coverage, and it should, because it's America's most famous sports. It's the most profitable of the major sports. Soccer gets great coverage from ESPN. I don't even follow soccer, and I'll get push notifications from ESPN saying Kylian Mbappe has scored 2 goals for Real Madrid. I don't follow that team or that player. I just get the alerts for whatever reason. Baseball, especially college baseball, is horribly covered by ESPN. So I'm using this as a calling out. I'm done. ESPN, please, 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 don't prove I'm right. And you currently are. Please do better at college baseball coverage, because quite honestly, it seems like you don't care. And when you do care, it's tournament time in June. And we know how you care because you put your golden boy, Carl Ravitch, on the call, and he doesn't know anything about baseball. And I'm tired of it. Do better. Thank you and good night. That's all I have to say.
Well said. Well said. No, looking at it from your perspective and then comparing it to what it is right now, what college athletics are doing, especially with baseball, that's kind of what school is for. A lot of those guys are going to school for production trucks, for broadcasting, and so forth. And I get what you're saying.
And I understand it.
Need to be better about it.
Look, I go to a journalism school.
Right.
I know people that are on the call for those games all the time. One of my best friends is on the call for those games all the time. But let's treat this as professionalism. And I don't know if that's a university thing or an ESPN thing, but I don't need to know about Johnny's passing grade in history. I want to know about Tyler Bell's third at bat. I want this to be treated because it's fair. It's fair to those kids that are out there playing. And quite honestly, look, I love baseball, so I know enough about it. You love baseball, so you know enough about it. Christian loves baseball, so he knows enough about it. But if you're trying to bring in people to watch a product, don't you think you should talk about the actual product to get them to keep coming back? Not about, Johnny's got lunch in between second and third period. I don't care about that. I want to know about the game. And college baseball games are long enough as it is now. I mean, on a good day, you're getting a 3-hour game. So I just want something enjoyable. And I love college baseball. And I'm going to continue to watch because it's fun for me to watch. But I don't enjoy the coverage that it's getting. And I don't enjoy the presentation. There are some games, and I understand some of it's the budget and some of it's how much money is allocated towards the sport. But there are some productions that look like a high school production. It's bad. So it's just frustrating to me that we get such a step up in quality. And I'm sure it's going to step up in quality here probably this next weekend because conference play is starting. The SEC is playing each other. But in terms of especially these midweek games, it's like no one cares. The teams don't care. The broadcast doesn't care. The students that are calling the game obviously don't care. It's disappointing. And look, I know a lot of people that call these games. We work with one, Cruz Martin, who does a phenomenal job on ESPN Plus.
Did a good job against Tennessee versus ETSU?
That's what I'm talking about. He sounded professional, and he sounded like he was bought in. He did his research. I know he had his sheets because he tells me about them all the time. He was professional. But there are other guys that go up there that are like just unprepared. Tennessee, for example, last night walked it off against Wright State. The guy calling it didn't even know who walked it off. You have a roster sheet in front of you, and he didn't even know who walked it off. So all I'm saying is ESPN needs to step up their college baseball coverage. It's disappointing as a baseball fan and as a college athletics fan to see such a nice growing product be kind of torn down by its own machine, if that makes sense.
You're right. And again, there is a lot of money to be had in TV broadcasting for these conferences. Online, I'm looking right now, and correct me if I'm wrong, Connor, but it says here on Google that the SEC signed a 10-year, $3 billion deal.
For this?
No, not for baseball, just across all SEC sports.
Oh, yeah.
And ESPN. So if that is the case, there is some financial compensation going to these universities if you're an SEC school. Now, I get it. If you're a smaller school like a EKU or like you mentioned, a Wright State.
Yeah, that's fine.
I get that. But if you're with the SEC, I mean, we're talking about it just means more. Let's show a little professionalism. I'm with you, Connor. Hey, spot on.
I've gotten to where I would rather hear the radio call. Like if I'm watching Vanderbilt, and I'm not just saying this because I work right across the hall from where that where that broadcast is broadcasted, I'd rather listen to Andrew than listen to, Johnny and Stevie talking about, third period economics or something like that.
Georgia does that. Georgia baseball.
Mhm.
They grab their radio feed and put it to the TV broadcast.
They should.
And you can see that on like ESPN and
The
stuff.
Preds used to do that. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Like Pete and Terry would be on TV, but they'd also be on the radio. So the radio call and the TV call were exactly the same.
Right.
It was awesome. The Sounds do that sometimes too. I know Jeff is on my TV 30. So that's just my rant there. I realize I complain about a lot. A lot of people think I'm bitchy, but it's okay. I feel this was a deserved rant. Devin and Dixon on our text line says ESPN broadcasting priorities are ass backwards. Nobody gives a rip about the NBA. I've noticed this for years with them. Agreed.
Tremendous point by him, and he is 100% right.
And coming up next, we'll talk a little bit about the NBA. I forgot to mention our weekend poll question is up, and looks like a lot of you have found it. But if you haven't, head to our Twitter. You've got about 5 minutes to go vote on this. That's my fault for not telling you. But our poll question today is, which coaching position is the least important in sports? Basketball, and by basketball, I mean the NBA, because college athletics, basketball coaching is pretty important. Soccer, hockey, or baseball? We'll discuss that coming up next. Connor Newton, Nick Frazier, Christian Skelton here with you on the Weekend Huddle on 102.5 The Game. Hour number 2 of the Weekend Huddle here on 102.5 The Game. Connor Duke, Christian Skeleton, Nick Frazier. Sorry, I didn't mean to put you last.
I don't care. You're good. Yeah, you're good.
I usually make you second and him last, but I don't know. Something happened there. We're broadcasting.
Talking about puke.
Yeah, we were talking about puke. The wrestler, not
Wrestler.
not the thing.
Not actual.
Not the thing. We're broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game National Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. And as we kick off hour number 2, like we do every week, we give you the weekend poll. A lot of you managed to find this one, despite me just forgetting to advertise it. So kudos to you. We have loyal listeners. Our question today, what is the least important head coaching position in sports? Your options were as follows. Basketball, and by basketball, I mean the NBA, not college basketball, because as we know, college basketball coaches are pretty important. I'm learning that lesson this year. Soccer, hockey, and baseball. Through about 21 votes and counting, you can still go vote. Basketball leads the way with 57.1%. In second place, baseball with 28.6%. Soccer in third with 9.5, and hockey in last place with 4.8. You and I were talking about this a little bit before the show, Nick Frazier. The NBA and their coaches may be the most meaningless position in all of sports, just because what do they do? It's a player-run league. You brought up Doc Rivers, and I can't think of a better example than Doc Rivers. He just sits there. Like, I don't ever see him yelling. I don't ever see him trying to coach anyone up. He just sits there. So I don't understand what NBA coaches do. JJ Redick comes to mind for me. He yells at his team and acts like he's actually doing something.
Tyronn Lue.
We all know who the coach of the Lakers is, though, right?
JJ Redick?
Yeah, but
LeBron.
It's
yeah.
LeBron.
Yeah.
It's LeBron. Tyronn Lue. Couldn't even tell you who the Grizzlies coach is right now, and quite honestly, I don't really care.
Is the guy with a beard still?
It's not Taylor Jenkins anymore?
No,
he got fired?
He got fired.
That checks out.
Yeah, remember because they fired him and they were in second place in the West last year?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
they're like, what?
Average NBA firing.
It's,
oh, my goodness.
The NBA, it's just, it's just like a grandfathered in position at this point.
But kudos to them as a league, though, for signing that NBC deal, because it has gone on the airwaves a good bit of times. And if it's on the TV, I'll turn it on regular station.
Yeah.
Like,
they did that broadcast the other day, and it was like the throwback, and it had
Bob Costas was calling it.
Bob Costas was on the call. It was awesome. They had the old music. They had the old scoreboard. I think they were playing. It was the Sixers playing. They were in their old 90s uniforms. It was awesome.
Old 90s court, too. I saw somebody on Twitter made an edit where they, made the quality worse, too, to, make it really 90s feel. And
that's
cool.
480 resolution.
Yeah.
Fox and NBC do a good job of that because when they do the Negro League games, I think the Cardinals were one of them a couple years ago.
It was, I think, last year.
It was last year.
Alabama.
But they showed, all right, we're going to show you what this game would look like on a 1950s broadcast. And they would black and white the screen. The audio quality would be terrible. It was awesome. So kudos to NBC. But in terms of the NBA and their coaches, as the texter points out on our text line, 615-737-1025, phone and text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, the NBA coaching feels incredibly obsolete. It just feels like a useless position. But in second place was baseball. Baseball managers in game, I think, are semi-useless. All they're really there to do is, challenge a call, maybe manage the pitching, but you got pitching coaches for that, and submit the lineup. That's really all it is there for. So I don't, baseball is kind of obsolete as well.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but they're sitting there eating their sunflowers and calling it.
They got the peanuts.
You talk about a guy that can hammer some sunflower seeds. You ever seen Terry Francona during a game?
Oh, yeah.
My goodness, that dude he can go through a whole bag of sunflower seeds in a game. It is impressive to watch.
I used to be able to do that.
My favorite thing is he doesn't even take them out of the bag. He just sets them all on the little railing on the dugout. He just takes them one by one. It's so funny.
Now, favorite sunflower seed, flavor wise?
I was back in the day when I played, I was batting fourth in the lineup. So I had time to chow down before I had to go. I was in the hole, or not on the hole. I was the cleanup guy. The barbecue sunflower seeds were tremendous.
Yes.
That combined with some big league chew, which is the gum that lasts about 30 seconds. It was good stuff.
Short-lived.
Very short. That and what is it? Hubba Bubba lasts like 10 seconds and then it's done.
Yeah, I was about to say I'm a little bit more of a gum guy than I am sunflower seeds.
I was too.
Yeah.
Were you an eye black guy?
No.
I was
wasn't
for
either.
Halloween costumes. Nothing
For
in a game.
When you dressed as Joey Votto?
That, and I think I was probably some other football players. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but yeah, definitely the Joey Votto one. I 100% did that.
Yeah.
I'd have to ask your expertise on this one, Nick Crane. I almost called you Nick Crane.
That's okay.
What?
That works.
I thought you were going to call him Nick Craig for some reason.
Nick Craig. How are soccer managers considered useless?
Well, I just put that one out there because people just see them. They call it the touchline, which is the sideline, their little box they have. They just see them out there just standing there with their hands crossed over. Some of them, like the Premier League in England, a lot of those coaches just kind of stand there for the most part, or they sit back in the chair. If you watch Nashville SC, which you can tonight at Geodis Park, playing Minnesota United,
He'll be there.
I will be there. BJ Callahan is a very direct coach. He'll either sit on the bench, look at some of the video film with some of the other coaches, get up, then direct players, and they do the little like water break at the 25th minute or whatever, and he's out there coaching. So there are some pros and cons to being a head coach in Major League Soccer, along with, soccer in general.
Yeah.
But a lot of it's done throughout the week.
I just imagine, I can't tell you his name. I don't remember it, but Man City's coach.
Oh, Pep Guardiola.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All I see is just him standing out there with his hands in his pockets.
Yeah. Again, I think that's one of the more active coaches in all of soccer, which is kind of crazy to say. But again, it's the system. If you understand the system as a player, then there's no reason to coach per se.
Kind of like hockey.
Yeah, exactly. But if you're struggling a little bit, if you're down by 1, or if you're tied 0-0 or 0-0, whatever you want to call it, then yeah, that's where the coaching comes into
I
play.
was going to say, Ted Lasso was a pretty damn good coach. He's pretty involved. And he would, sit out there with his hand in his pockets.
It's all right to do that every once in a while.
It gets cold.
It does.
This conversation just made me look up who USA's manager was because I couldn't remember his name.
Oh, Mauricio Pochettino.
I almost said Jurgen Klinsmann, but I was like, that was like 12 years ago, Christian, when you were in elementary school.
That's like 2010.
Yeah.
Christian Skelton pulling one out of the
Yes,
rafters.
sir.
I don't think I could name one soccer coach other than BJ Callahan.
Oh, you got one. You just named one. Pep Guardiola.
Oh.
You got one. Come
Well,
on.
I didn't know his name.
Wasn't there a Bruce Arena?
Bingo. Yes.
Was he after Klinsmann?
Before.
Before.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I'm thinking of.
You got it. Come on. It's deep down in there somewhere.
I'll find one.
What was the ball guy's name again for USA? That we fired?
Greg Berhalter.
Greg, that's
Oh,
probably
he
what
was
I'm
an
thinking of.
idiot. I
Goodness
do remember
gracious.
him. Yeah, he was dumb. Man, this is tough.
You got this.
Man United. Who was it?
Yes.
He
He was Portuguese.
Yeah.
First name is Jose.
I don't know.
Jose M. Mourinho. Jose Mourinho.
I would have never gotten that in
Yeah,
a million
it's all right.
years.
Hey, Mauricio Pochettino's a good one though.
My Man City knowledge extends once Wayne Rooney left.
Man United.
Man United.
Yeah.
Man,
I got you.
Wayne Rooney. I used to love Wayne Rooney
I was a
did,
big Wayne
right?
Rooney guy too. Yeah.
because he was good on FIFA. That's why.
Yes, exactly why.
FIFA 10, I think. Is
FIFA,
what it
yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yep.
Was that the one he was on the cover of?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then he left, came to the MLS for LA Galaxy.
That's
Washington.
okay.
No, it was
Beckham.
what was his name? He had the
Oh,
ponytail.
Zlatan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ibrahimovic.
Yes.
That's right.
I feel like I don't want to say wash because that sounds offensive, but every guy that has had his stint in the Premier Leagues, did they all just go to LA Galaxy like afterward? Like, is that just
yeah.
all
Now
their-
it's Miami.
Yeah, now it's Miami. Yeah.
Majority of them, yeah, back in the day, because LA was that team that would always pay the big money, and it was LA, like it's Hollywood.
And now
Yeah.
they suck, right?
Yeah. Well, they're decent. They're all right.
Well, LAFC is better.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot there's 2 teams now.
That's
Yeah.
where the money's at.
Yeah.
So
I remember I went to an NSC game a couple of years ago. It was LAFC, and it was the debut of he's like a big time Premier League get.
Heung-min Son
yes.
from Tottenham.
Yeah. That's right.
And they also had Olivier Giroud for a little bit, and now Hugo Lloris in goal. Like they have some pretty marquee players.
Yeah.
Now it's Jacob Schaffelberg from Nashville. He
Really?
just got shipped off there before the season.
Nice.
So
Well, not nice for Nashville.
no, it's
but good for him.
No, it was a good thing for Nashville.
Oh,
Yeah, it was.
okay.
By the way, the sunflower seed selection for me: dill pickle and ranch put together.
Were you a pickle guy in football?
Oh yeah, pickle juice.
Pickle juice.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
pickle juice. And sometimes during summer football, like 2-a-days, we would sometimes shove mustard packets in our pants because if we started to get dehydrated or we give them to the trainer, we would just eat the mustard packets to kind of give us that extra boost. It was kind of weird.
Yeah.
But
I'm
it
trying to
worked.
think of things we ate. Sunflower seeds were one. Gum. I think that's about it
Yeah.
in terms of baseball foods.
Actual pickles.
I did eat actual pickles.
Yeah, would do that.
Once or twice. I didn't bring them myself, but
I will out myself on this. I used to sneak hot dogs in the dugout and eat them in between breaks.
Oh, who
Between
didn't do
innings.
that?
That's
Did you
such
have
a-
a childhood if you didn't do that when you played
that's such an
baseball?
offensive line thing for you to say.
Yeah.
That's
I-
such
Oh,
a
you did that playing football.
no, not football.
Oh,
baseball.
okay.
Baseball.
That's such a fullback thing for you
Yeah.
to say.
I will say football, I was not able to sneak much food.
No, I feel like it's a little bit different too,
Yeah.
because you're doing stuff a lot more of the time when you're playing football.
We had a bad tornado storm against NBA my sophomore season, and we ended up we're in like a 2-hour delay, and we were all hungry. It was like 11 p.m. by the time we started back. Ate a Snickers bar.
Oh, they played the game that night.
Yeah,
That's impressive.
We didn't get back to like Father Ryan until like 2-3 in the morning. But yeah, had a Snickers bar at halftime.
Tremendous.
That's my claim. to
We did
fame.
eat candy in the dugout.
Yeah,
We would sneak in Reese's peanut butter cups, and
who wouldn't?
yeah, it's the child. And it was summer too, so it would be like melted. So you had to chow it down quick. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. Fun spirited conversation on the most useless position in sports. Basketball wins by a long shot. Well done, NBA. You continue to remain relevant even when your league is terrible. But it's our fault for talking about it. So we apologize for that. Coming up next, we'll get into the Titans. I have some thoughts on the Tennessee Titans offseason. Mike Evans to the Titans? Really?
Boy,
There was a report on that came out yesterday. I'll find it. Adam Vingan sent it to me. Really? We're going to go that route again? A washed receiver on the Tennessee Titans? Not washed, but an old receiver on the Tennessee Titans? Really? We'll talk about that coming up next. Connor Newton, Nick Frazier, Christian Skelton here with you on this Saturday. We're going to talk about the Titans. So, of course, our Titans postseason coverage is brought to you by Tennessee Brewworks, the official craft beer of the football offseason coverage on ESPN 1025. The game, 615-737-1025, is, of course, the phone number, phone and text lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We'll do it all coming up next right here on the Weekend Huddle, 1025 The Game. Friend of the show, Vince Gill, bringing us back here on this Saturday. Connor Newton, Nick Frazier, Christian Skelton here with you on the Weekend Huddle on 102.5 The Game. One of my favorite songs of all time. Love me some Vince Gill.
One of the greatest songs of all time.
It's fantastic. Not my favorite music video by him, though. What is it? One More Last Chance, where he's playing golf.
Yeah.
Is great.
One of the greatest music videos of all time.
It's
That's what
hilarious.
that one is.
It's so funny. I don't know why it's funny to me, but it just is. He's just out there playing golf, which I think he just said, yeah, I'm going to go play golf. You guys can shoot whatever you want. And that's exactly what happened.
How cool would it be to just live the life of Vince Gill? Like, seriously, you're done with your country career, and guess what you're doing now? You're playing guitar for the Eagles.
Is he going to be in the band when they're here?
Yeah.
Vandy?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I got to go.
Isn't that the Pinnacle or something, right?
It's at Vandy.
I was saying, I think it's a Vanderbilt.
First
yeah.
Bank.
Oh, that's right. It's at First Bank. Okay.
I got to go to that. But it's a little bit pricey.
It's all right.
Is it really? That doesn't surprise
Yeah.
me, but yeah.
Well, actually, we probably can't, because you know what day it is.
No, I don't know what day it is.
It is Saturday, May 9th.
Oh, well, yeah, we'll be a little bit busy that day.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I'll be-
Fingers crossed we'll be busy that day.
Yeah. I'm looking at my midterms right now. How the hell did I get a B in case studies and PR? What are we doing here?
What?
Yeah, senioritis.
Now I sound like Johnny and
I was about to
Stevie on
say,
the ESPN.
we don't want to
college
hear about your
baseball.
grades, Connor.
Anyways, let's talk a little bit of Titans here. There was a report that came out yesterday that Adam Vingan sent to me, and he didn't use it on his show, so I'm going to use it today. There's a report that the Titans are interested in signing Mike Evans, wide receiver from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So they are never beating the allegations of bringing in old receivers that are probably past their prime. Why would you want to do that? I can't see them doing it in the first place. I think he's going to remain a Buccaneer probably and probably retire there. But you need young pieces to grow with Cam Ward. Bringing in Mike Evans would be such a win now move. And we all know that this team is far from win now, right now, at this very moment. So I think that bringing in Mike Evans would be such a mistake for this franchise. Love Mike Evans. Love the player. Love what he's done in his career. Wouldn't make sense here.
Yeah, he's coming off those injuries last year. I believe those were hamstring injuries, and I think it happened twice. Didn't have 1,000 yards for the first time in his career ever, which is kind of crazy to think. Again, productive player, bit of a high motor, a guy that wants to win. I'm sure he's going to go to a contender, not a pretender in the Titans potentially. But
I wouldn't even consider the Titans a pretender. I would just consider them there.
yeah, just a thought.
Yeah.
But anyways, like I like a Mike Evans, but it still follows suit with the same trend. And again, if the Titans were to sign a guy like Mike Evans, guess what? There's a new offensive coordinator in Nashville. There's a different trajectory with this offensive style. It could work. It really could work.
I'm looking through this article. This is from Essentially Sports, written by Tony Pauline. So I'm not really familiar with his work, but he says, quote, I reported just before the combine that the Las Vegas Raiders and Tennessee Titans are two teams ready to make a bid for Alec Pierce, which is good, and also Mike Evans. In the past few hours, I learned that New England are hot for Pierce and expected to make a big push for the wideout. This makes sense for them. Also says the Bills' temperature has calmed down on Mike Evans. I think we know why. We learned that yesterday when the Bills traded for DJ Moore from the Chicago Bears. I don't know. I don't understand why the Titans would be interested in Mike Evans. Look, he says, quote, I'm told there's a real possibility he returns to play with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 26. If the right deal is struck, though, consider the Tennessee Titans and the Las Vegas Raiders game as well. So it sounds like they're interested based on Tony Pauline. I don't understand why they would be.
I kind of get the concept a little bit. Say if they were to go after two wide receivers in free agency, I don't know who said it on these airwaves. It might have been Jake. It might have been TD. Somebody said it. I take it back. It was Jake yesterday. The Titans need to go after two wide receivers. And I asked him, does one of those have to be in the draft or does both of those have to be in free agency? And I think he said it could be both. Like one could be free agency, one could be draft. But if they were to go free agency for both, say if it's Wan'Dale Robinson as a slot receiver,
which is a foregone conclusion. I
Yeah.
think he's coming.
and then maybe add a Mike Evans on a little bit of a team-friendly deal, I think that's a win-win. I'd be okay with that.
Can you get Mike Evans on a team-friendly deal, though, is the question.
Well, with $100+ million, I think anything's team-friendly, right?
My question is, if you're Mike Evans, why in the world would you go to the Raiders? I mean, I know
Maybe he just
it's not
loves
much.
Mendoza.
It's not. Maybe so. I mean, I know it's not much to say if you're the Titans, considering the last couple of years. But I don't know why he would do
Clint
that.
Kubiak, I mean, he's a good
Yeah,
coach.
You're playing indoors, and that's
also
key
true.
for a veteran player that's had hamstring injuries in the past.
Much bigger market, so more eyes are on you.
There's the reason why the Bills didn't really pursue him per se, because if you're in the cold weather and those hamstrings are tighten up, buddy, you're
That's
done.
a great point.
You
You're
guys
done.
talked me into it a little bit. Okay, that's
So,
fair.
And Nashville's somewhat of a fair weather place. I think it comes down to one, both places, Vegas and Nashville, no state income tax.
Yes,
Gotta remember
that's
that.
true.
So again, these are places
Florida
where-
does have income tax,
right?
I believe.
No.
Oh.
That and
Then why would you leave?
Well, Tampa Bay's not in a great situation.
Yeah.
Chris
Yeah.
Godwin, like, come on. Yeah. There's a lot of
I don't know how Todd Bowles still has a job after the collapse last year. Honestly,
I'm with you. That makes no sense.
I was shocked that they retained him. But
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield, MVP candidate.
Is he on the decline now?
Yes.
Is that safe to say he
unfortunately, because I love
Some-
Baker, but
Some of it wasn't his fault. Like he lost Evans last year because of injury. Godwin is inconsistent. He's got Emeka Egbuka.
Yep.
So that's something that's trending in his and Bucky Irving. But I don't know. That second half of the season last year, he just didn't look good.
That was on him, by the way. He just
Oh,
held
yeah.
on to the ball too much. Easily could have threw it away. Did not do that. Also, Cade Otton. Somebody mentioned that on these airwaves as well.
I would
that-
like him here.
That's a pretty good plug.
That was Brandon Bixby.
That was Bigsby.
He said that.
Shout out to Brando.
Good
That
job,
was a
Brando.
good plug. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if they would pursue him. I think they just want to turn over the reins to Gunnar
Yeah.
Helm, which is fine. I like Gunnar Helm. He's capable of doing everything. Not at an elite level, but he does everything. So it would be fine. But as far as Mike Evans to the Titans, that would be another Tennessee Titans wide receiver. You light my fire moment. He would join the ranks of Randy Moss and Andre Johnson and Julio Jones.
DeAndre
And DeAndre,
Hopkins.
well, at least DeAndre was somewhat productive here, but
Yeah.
he would join the ranks of those three.
this guy's not been linked to the Titans. But would it be more of a Titans move to go get Mike Evans or Stephon Diggs?
Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, probably. Because at least Mike Evans, there might be some upside. I feel like.
Stephon Diggs will go to some contender, I think.
Yeah.
Like someone will take a flyer on him. But if I'm the Titans, I wouldn't take him because he's declining and he's just not an effective receiver anymore. B, that guy's got a lot of baggage. And I don't think you would want to deal with that.
Now, if there's any team that would probably take him, it would be, oh boy,
Kansas City.
maybe Kansas City. I was leaning more towards like an Atlanta or like a
Fit right in Atlanta.
Arizona. I mean, they're a land of misfit toys.
Arizona.
So I would, yeah, maybe something like that. That was good. by the
That
way.
was really good. Speaking of wide receivers and the Chiefs, I'm mentally preparing for Carnell Tate to fall to the Chiefs at 8 or 9, whatever they are.
See, I'm preparing for Jeremiah Love to fall to the Chiefs.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those two, just because I kind of feel like.
What if the Chiefs trade up for the 4th overall pick to get Jeremiah Love and they trade back to get 9 and 40?
I'd be all right with that.
Yeah, I'd make that deal, as they say in whatever movie that is. It's escaping me at the moment, but anyway.
615-737-1025 is the phone number if you want to get involved in the conversation. We'll continue the Titans offseason coverage coming up next. I have a slight thought on a backup quarterback here on this roster. Will Levis. What the hell is going to happen to him? Do you even need him around at this point? We'll discuss that coming up next here on the Weekend Huddle on 102.5 The Game. Welcome back in Weekend Huddle here on 102.5 The Game. Connor Duke, Nick Frazier, Christian Skeleton here with you. Getting ready to watch some season 2 of Ted after this. I just cannot wait. I've heard good things.
That's on the Peacock, right?
Yes, it is on. I can't call it what I usually call it.
Yeah,
Live
I
on
don't
air.
know if that's safe for on air.
Well, TJ Miller said some things yesterday that weren't safe for on air.
It's true. And they were very similar to what you were probably going to
Yeah.
say.
He said it like 4 times, and then he called me a word that I don't think I can say.
In the context of it's the way you're going to describe it, yes, don't say it that way. But the context of what he said, it was all right.
Yes.
But not okay in a roundabout. You know what I'm saying?
I leaned into it.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, you must be this." And I was like, "Yeah, a little bit." And
Yeah.
TD just
Aren't we all?
Yeah,
If
I
you
think,
think
I
about
think
it.
so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TD just couldn't contain himself.
TD was in his bag yesterday.
I mean,
Just-
TD, that's going to be, for him, I'm sure that's an all-time day.
yeah, I mean,
Rapping with DMC.
I've never seen a guy fangirl like that before.
He had some other good things that happened to him yesterday, too.
Really?
He looked at me and he's like, "How can there be a bad day?" I was like, TD, that's a great point by you.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Only way it could be a bad day is if your food's overcooked. For me, that's.
But wouldn't you be the one overcooking it?
I mean, if I go out to eat though, that's a little.
Oh,
different.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, my last food experience that ended badly, I found a hair in a chicken tender one time.
Oh
I
man.
sent that sucker back.
Yeah. No thanks. A chicken tender of all. Wow.
Yeah.
People really got to wear some hair.
So
nets
TJ
on.
Miller is right about me. Did you hear him yesterday? He was like, "You look like the kind of guy that would order chicken tenders at a Mexican restaurant." I was like, "Well, I don't do that, but
I do like a good, 3-piece
I'll eat
chicken.
a ten. I mean,
Yeah.
look, I'm a Zaxby's connoisseur.
Chicken tendies all day, every day.
I can't. I'm freely plugging this business, but 4-finger chicken combo with extra fries, slaw, and a large sweet tea. It's the new order
It's the go-to look, huh?
at the Zax. I have a quick thought on the Titans.
Yes.
There's a lot of, maybe not a lot, but there's some conversation about Will Levis and why he shouldn't be traded. Why don't you just send him off? Get a good, nice 5th-round pick for him. Send him to LA. Let him develop under Matthew Stafford with that quarterback developing guru of a staff, and just call it a day. I don't understand why you feel the need to keep him around, because if your backup quarterback is a distraction, that's a problem for your starting quarterback. And I think that a young quarterback like Will Levis and kind of his personality in general would be a distraction for Cam Ward. It's polar opposites. Not to the level of Diego Pavia, where, look, he's still got 1 more year for that frontal lobe to develop. So he's excused from all immaturity. But Will Levis, I would say, has some immaturities. The whole mayonnaise thing and that commercial that makes me want to throw my remote every single time down
Don't forget about his cologne, his mayo cologne.
that cologne.
Yeah.
I don't get it. And look, he eats bananas without the skin, or with the skin. So
Yeah, it's a little funky.
I don't know. I just feel he would be a distraction. And quite honestly, I don't understand, A, where my producer went, and B,
He's going to fix something, I think.
oh,
I don't
that's
know.
good. Well, he needs to be taking calls, but that's okay. I don't understand what service he would provide you as a backup quarterback.
I think he brings competition. And that's something that Cam Ward,
That's
again,
it.
maybe that's not the thing that he needs right now is competition, but
Look at that at the buzzer. He answers the phone. Oh, never mind.
call back if you're
Yeah,
trying to
come
call
back.
But no, like I think he brings some valid competition for Cam Ward. It keeps him in check as a starting quarterback for this team. As for Will Levis, it probably doesn't, help his career out whatsoever. But again, if you can keep him around a little bit, just keep hyping up his stock, there will be a team that will spend like a 5th-round flyer on him.
The only thing that is keeping me interested in keeping Will Levis around is, does he attract Wan'Dale Robinson? Because they were college teammates together, remember?
That's right.
They played at Kentucky together in 2021. So does he attract Wan'Dale Robinson? Not that I think he's a massive difference maker for this Titans offense, but I think that's a capable receiver you can throw in the slot. And look, they were teammates, they're friends, they know each other well. I think they could help each other out on the practice field. But at the end of the day, Will Levis has absolutely zero shot to be the starter for this team unless something catastrophic happens to Cam Ward and he gets injured.
Yeah, and adding on to that, you got to remember, guess what? He doesn't have to develop under a Matt LaFleur or a Sean McVay. Brian Dable, he was a key
That's
factor
true.
into Josh Allen developing in Buffalo. He's going to do that with Cam Ward. Why not keep Will Levis around, develop him? And you know what? If Brian Dable goes off to another place and the Titans want to trade and say he is the head coach of another team, that's a trade you can do. And or they could just trade with somebody else. And if Dable wants to stay with the Titans, he can. I think there is a lot to do with the Will Levis. We talk about, draft trading chips earlier with the Preds. Same thing for the Titans. You hold on to Will Levis, to me, I think there's some value in that.
I think there's value to both sides, but I don't know. It's just,
Yeah, look at the Titans roster as a money pit, and not because they have the most salary, space in the NFL right now. But I look at it as if he's a $5 bill, he's a $10 bill. Will Levis is a $50 bill that could appreciate.
I don't think you're ever going to get more value for him unless, at least if you're the Titans, I don't think you're going to get much value for him unless it's like a 5th rounder, which I would take and run with. Get a 5th rounder. You can get a late round pick in this year's draft and just break up with him. Because as we say, not that I believe in it, because I think all people should be married forever, but divorce is good for some people. And I think the divorce between the Tennessee Titans and Will Levis may be good.
I'll make a bold prediction. Christian Skelton, mark this back there. They hold on to Will Levis through the preseason, then they trade him.
I agree.
I think he plays the entire preseason. They let Cam Ward, get 1 or 2 series if that is. But Will Levis will be playing majority of the preseason.
It'll be like Malik Willis.
And he's going to look really good, and then they will trade him at the beginning of the season.
I agree. Because they're trying to maximize that value.
Bingo.
Similar to what they did for Malik Willis. And, I mean, that dude's about to get $30 million a year for some reason.
And if they find a trade partner, Brian Dable is going to go to bat for Will Levis and say, yeah, he
should.
Yeah, absolutely. He has the intangibles just like Josh Allen did. He has a really good arm. I mean, it's a great talent a lot of people don't have. He's going to hype up that stock so much that somebody will spend either a 6th or 7th round pick. I know I said 5th earlier, but I think it's 6th or 7th round.
I agree with that. 615-737-1025. Quickly, let's go to Dustin on our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Dustin, go ahead.
Morning, guys. So I'll tell you, this is the healthy way to look at Will Levis, because I'm a huge Will Levis fan. I was so ecstatic when we drafted him. He whether anybody wants to admit it or not, one thing no one can deny, and they're wrong if they do, Will Levis has all the talent for the NFL to be one of the 32 starting quarterbacks. Now, when he came in, he was with Rabel, and Rabel is no quarterback coach. I don't even know who the quarterback coach was, but he did pretty damn well that first year. And I remember some really cool games. What was it, a Monday or Thursday night Dolphins game when he had like 3 minutes left, and that dude came back from 3 touchdowns down and won the dang game. That just doesn't happen all the time. And what he did his first game in, the 4 touchdowns with in my opinion, wide receiver 2 was the best he had. And then he had Hopkins. I forgot about that, but that's a whole other story too. Levis has all the talent. And for me to be such a big fan of him, I'm a UK fan. I've seen what he did with what little he had under Stoops. If anybody watched Kentucky, that line was trash. The line we had at the Titans, his first year was trash. The second year was trash. And under Brian Callahan, we all know what Brian Callahan is, and that is nothing near a head coach, is nothing near developing a young quarterback. He regressed him. He regressed many players on this team. What I'm trying to say is no one can sit here and say in Levis's second year, he got an absolute good shot at being a developing young quarterback. This guy, in my opinion, I'm going to follow him wherever he goes. And I want him to leave. I'd love for him to stay as a Titan, but I don't want him to because he's not going to be my starting quarterback. And for me to say him stay and get a shot, that would mean me saying, Cam Ward, I want you to fail. And I don't, because he is our quarterback. That's what they picked. This is a business. They have chosen Cam. Levis is out. Unless something, like you said, Cam gets injured. I don't want that to happen to that young man. And then Levis comes up and he shows, hey, under Dayball, look at me. And I'm like, you guys, I want him to develop a little bit under Dayball, get through the preseason, and make his stock huge. It would be awesome for him to be behind Stafford. Who wouldn't want to see Levis succeed? Like, no, we don't, because he's on our team and we screwed up. But why would you want to see a young man not succeed? I want to see Ward and him succeed. Y'all have a good day, man.
Thanks for the call, Dustin. Yeah, he kind of shares my opinion. I'm a massive Will Levis fan as well. Of course, being Kentucky, he's done a lot, over my sports life. That 2021 team at Kentucky is unforgettable to me as a 10-win team. So, look, I want him to succeed. It's just not going to be here. So, as a fan of him and as a fan of the Titans, I want both sides to be happy. I want both sides to succeed. And I feel that the way to do that is by breaking up. And that's okay. Just get value for him.
If there's a way you could trade with Arizona, that'd be a great spot.
Yes. The most hapless franchise in America, according to Big Joe Dubin. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. Last call for you to get in on the conversation. But coming up next, we'll do our favorite part of the day. Where are they now? With a even better than the real one. Is this the one where they're at the tiny desk, or is this like an actual concert?
No, this is like an actual concert.
Oh, wow.
There's like a band behind him and everything.
Oh, my God. That's our mission. We have to go see the Gap Band live in concert.
Do they still tour?
I have no idea, but we have to go see them. Welcome back in. Weekend Huddle here on 102.5 The Game. Connor Newton, Nick Frazier, Christian Skelton here with you, wrapping things up. And before we play Where Are They Now, I would be absolutely remiss if I didn't mention this. Congratulations and good luck to my beloved alumni, or my beloved alma mater, I should say, of Pope John Paul II. The basketball team is in Clarksville. Right now, they are about to tip off at 1:30 to take on Briarcrest for a state championship. How exciting is that?
Good for them.
It'll be my mission if they pull this one off. I know Coach Wade well. He was a mentor of mine in high school. He's always been very good to me. So I will have to make a phone call out there to see if we could get him on to talk with us. But good luck to them. The whole Night Nation is rooting for you, myself included. And now everyone in Nashville knows. Let's go, Knights, go. Take down Briarcrest. Bring home a state title for us today. Good luck to them. They play at 1:30, so I'll be following along with that. And hopefully we can get some work done with them here in the coming weeks. With that, we play Where Are They Now? That was the cue too. Sorry. There you go.
I was about to say, that was my cue to hit the music. I missed it. My bad.
Back to the stoplight music. Let's go.
Yes, it was.
I love it. I'm going to go with basketball player.
Oh,
The,
it's my bread and butter right here.
National Basketball Association. We'll go with, let's see. Played basketball at Liberty and Duke in college. Was undrafted in the NBA. Then he played for the Santa Cruz Warriors, Memphis Grizzlies, Cleveland Cavaliers, the, Erie Bayhawks, Phoenix Suns, Sacramento Kings, Dallas Mavericks, Portland Trailblazers, Dallas Mavericks, Philadelphia 76ers, Brooklyn Nets, Dallas Mavericks again, Charlotte Hornets, and currently with the Golden State Warriors.
Played at Duke.
And he's still in the league.
Okay.
Plays
Wow.
for the Golden State Warriors.
Let's see here. Played at Liberty too. Wow.
Mhm.
Okay.
First at Liberty, then transferred to Duke.
Okay. It's not JJ Redick.
I'll give you a time frame. Went into the NBA in 2013.
13. Okay. Memphis Grizzlies too. Huh.
He's a guard.
He's a guard.
You said 2012, right?
2013.
Okay,
Man,
so that's too.
where's Adam
that's
Vingan
too-
when I need
That's
him?
too early for Grayson Allen. Then.
Yeah, it
A
is.
little more of a hint. His dad also played in the NBA and has a relative that plays in the NBA currently. Blood relative.
Man.
In the same family, from the same father.
Oh, is it Seth Curry?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Seth as well.
It is Seth
Yeah.
Curry.
He started his career at Liberty in college, huh?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
No, my thing refreshed. I had one for you that Instagram gave me. It's okay. I remember who it is.
Oh, no.
No.
Please hold
You
everyone.
just gotta look it up now. Yeah, Seth Curry was a good pull there.
Thank
I
you.
can't believe I got there, but once you said, the dad, and the
Yeah.
you just gave us a little bit more hints. Got us there.
I'm surprised they don't do anything with Dell, like Dell Curry. I'm surprised they
So
didn't do anything like
They
the
play together,
computer.
don't they?
Yeah.
They do.
That's weird. All right, we're going to go to the diamond here. Drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals, New York Yankees, Cincinnati Reds, New York Mets, Minnesota Twins, Philadelphia Phillies, currently with the San Francisco Giants.
Currently with the Giants.
Who do you play for after the Reds?
The Mets of New York.
Currently on the Giants.
From the University of Florida.
Nope, not Jonathan India. Nope, that's definitely not it.
Oh, man, this is tough.
Outfielder.
Outfielder.
It's not Todd Frazier. He's retired.
Oh, man.
Golden Glove winner
Yeah.
in 2021.
Oh, dude. I can
I'm
literally
trying to
picture who this is, and I just cannot think of it.
Lars is still in the Cardinals. I gotta go through my brain process now.
Who plays for the Giants?
Dylan Carlson plays for the Cubs.
This is tremendous content for me right now.
Oh,
We're
my
like both
goodness.
just thinking about it out loud.
watching the steam come out of both of your brains trying to figure this
This is
one
gonna
out.
make me so mad.
Big City. Oh my goodness.
You're right there. Oh, you're right there.
What is his name? I know his nickname. Matt Adams. Big City.
It's as good of I guess as I'm gonna have.
You're both gonna kick yourselves.
No.
It is Harrison Bader.
Oh,
He played for the Reds.
yeah.
I had no idea about that, so I actually do not feel that bad
I
about that.
forgot because when he was with the Cardinals, he then got traded to the Yankees,
Yep.
and then had a domino effect in his career.
And now he
Dang it.
sucks.
Yeah, playing for Team Israel in the WBC, by the way.
Yes, he is. I should have told you that. You would have gotten it, though.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all good.
I don't know if I'd have gotten it for you to give me that part, but anyway, I'm gonna go with the gridiron.
Oh,
This man started his career with the Falcons, then he went to the Jaguars, and currently with the Titans.
That is Calvin Ridley.
The man we were just talking about.
bingo.
You are correct. I should
See,
have said currently with the Titans for now.
I've learned with Christian, I just have to pay attention to who I talk about throughout the show because it'll come
It
back.
gives me an idea. Yeah.
All right.
That's great.
Proceed.
All right. Next on the list, we went to the Diamond. So where Connor was just at. Let's see here. MLB debut was with the Chicago Cubs. Then he played for the Baltimore Orioles, Boston Red Sox, Cleveland Indians, Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, not of where they're at currently, New York Yankees, Boston Red Sox, Oakland Athletics, Los Angeles Dodgers,
Good Lord.
Minnesota Twins, Tampa Bay Rays, New York Mets, Boston Red Sox,
Good Lord.
Pittsburgh Pirates, San Diego Padres, Boston Red Sox, and currently with the Kansas City Royals.
God.
So he still is currently playing.
That
Wow.
is very true.
What a journeyman.
I'm going to go with Aroldis Chapman.
Who does he currently
Close.
play for again?
Plays for the Royals. He's in the right position.
Is he a relief pitcher? Kinley Jansen.
Not a relief pitcher, but in the right, category.
Okay. I'll go Kinley Jansen. I don't think it's right, but
That final answer?
yeah,
How about we'll go starting pitcher? All right.
Okay.
It's starting pitcher.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if that helps much.
Yeah, it doesn't.
You guys know the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rich Hill.
Ah,
Rich Hill still plays?
That's
still
crazy.
plays.
That is the definition of you light my fire. Good gracious.
Wow.
How
Yeah.
old is he now? Like 47?
45.
Wow.
Yeah. From
Lord.
Milton, Massachusetts.
That's incredible that he's still in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's
How
on
about
like
that?
1 year deals, but right now he's still with Kansas City.
Yeah. Wow.
All right. We're going to the ice here, folks. Phoenix Coyotes, Ottawa Senators, Nashville Predators, Edmonton Oilers. Drafted 3rd overall in the 2007 draft.
But he is that cold.
That's what I was going to say.
Eh.
Oh,
This was a big signing for the Predators at the time.
What are the teams again?
Phoenix Coyotes,
Okay.
Ottawa Senators, Nashville Predators, of course, and the Edmonton Oilers.
Kyle Turris.
There he is.
Yeah. I'm gonna say
Hey.
Kyle, there he is. They're still paying him, aren't they?
Yes.
Probably.
boy.
Yes, they
of
are.
course they are.
Woo.
This was big at the time. Oh, we were so excited.
Oh yeah. He was good for a little bit. I'll sneak in one more here before we got to go. Titans, Eagles, Bears.
Titans, Eagles. Oh,
The mayor.
Kevin Byard.
Yes, the mayor of Murfreesboro. That was an easy one, I know.
The mayor. Dude, and we didn't even talk about Byard today. Look at that. He's going outside of the box.
I went a little bit outside
Good
the
for you.
box.
Love it.
Good for you. I'm proud of you. That'll do it for us here today on the program. Stick around. Vandy basketball, I believe, playing on this station. Vandy baseball as well across the game, Nashville Sports Network. But as for us, that'll do it for us today. For Nick Frazier, for Christian Skelton, my name is Connor Newt. Say it's so long. We'll see you next week, next Saturday, right here on the Weekend Huddle on 102.5 The Game. See ya.
Evolution is